Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. So let's continue with our discussion on standard costing. Standard costing, and in this lecture most probably we'll be completing with the material variances, right? Why we have spent a lot of time on material variances? Because this is the base, right? If you are able to understand material variances, then labor variances are absolutely same. So we'll spend just one or maximum two lectures on labor variances, one lecture on the variable overheads. After that, fixed overhead variances will take one or two lectures maximum, right? So this was the base. Material variance was the base. That is why we have spent a lot of time on this. Okay. So before we start, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon so that you get all the notifications, share with all the people and follow us on Instagram, Telegram. All the links are in the video description, right? So this much you can contribute by sharing with all the people and following us on various platforms. This much we expect a contribution from you. Okay. So what we did in the last lecture, we discussed about the direct material yield variance, right? So for that, we discussed that the reason for the difference in the direct material quantity consumption, right, which we call it as direct material quantity variance, that it may be due to the inappropriate mix being used or the inadequate yield or the inadequate productivity of inputs, right? So this is what we discussed, that if when the focus is on output, that is the yield, we call it as direct material yield variance. Okay. Now we are going to discuss in this lecture about the direct material mix variance. Now in this, what is the focus? The focus is on the mix that has been used, right? The focus is on the mix of raw material used. Raw material used. Mix here means, what is the meaning of mix? Mix here means the usage or the proportion of raw material used. Now I told you that this will happen only when two or more raw materials are being used together in the manufacturing. That means direct material yield and mix variance you can calculate only and only if you have more than one raw material being used in the manufacturing process. If there is only one raw material, right, being used in the manufacturing process, then you cannot calculate the mix variance and the yield variance. In that case, you can only calculate the cost variance, price variance and the usage variance, right? So this is what we discussed, the example that you want to make a snack using potatoes and flour, right? And the focus was that in how many grams we are able to able to get the quantity, desired quantity, right? So this was the formula, that standard quantity for actual output minus the revised standard quantity for actual output multiplied by standard price. So the focus was on the output thing, right? According to the output, whatever is your actual output, according to that, what is the standard quantity and what is the revised standard quantity? What was your initial approach, right? Initial thought process, initial plan, then what is your revised plan multiplied by standard price, right? So this was the alternative formula that I gave you. Actual output minus standard output for actual mix multiplied by standard cost per unit of actual output. So this is all what we discussed in the last lecture. Now in this lecture, what we are going to discuss about is the direct material mix variance, the last variance in this material. Direct material mix variance. So this is the last variance in material variances. Right? Again, we are going to take the same example only. We are going to take the same example, that you want to make a snack and in 1 unit of snack, we're going to take absolutely same example, right? Snack using potatoes and flour, right? Then I'll say the same thing, standard quantity for actual output, standard price, standard cost, actual quantity, actual price and actual cost, right? So what we are going to use, potatoes and flour. Now, according to my plans, in making 1 unit of the snack, 80 grams of potato is required and 20 grams of flour is required. That is, total 100 grams should be used in making 1 unit of the snack. The price is 0.01 and 0.02. So that comes out to 0.8. Right? The same example we are going to take, right? 0.4. So 1.2. Right? This is the standard cost. Now coming to the actual quantity, now what happened? Again, I am the boss. Why? I should be making the snack. I called my worker. I told him that you should make the snack for me. I want to see that whether you are an expert at it or not. Right? Whether you are an expert at it or not. So he brought the snack. So I asked him how much of the quantities you have used and what is the proportion in which you have used. Now the important part here is, in the last part, when we were discussing about the yield, we were focusing on how much of the total quantity you have used. Right? We were focused on the total quantity. We were not really concerned with the proportion, the actual proportion in which he has used. Right? We were not concerned with this thing. We were not very much concerned in this thing. What was the concern? That what is the total quantity in making that output? What is the total quantity, total actual quantity that has been used? Right? In which proportion he is using, I was least concerned with it. Isn't it? I was, but because 80 grams, I say divide it into the ratio of standards to calculate the revised standard quantity. Right? But I was not very much. This was not used anywhere. Clear? This was not used anywhere. But in this case, now my question has changed. Now my question is that what is the proportion in which you have used the potatoes and the flour. Right? Besides the total quantity, what I want to know is, I want to know the proportion in which the worker is using the potatoes and flour. So now he says that I am using 70 grams of potato, right? And then I am using 10 grams of flour. That is the total quantity I am using is 80 grams in making 1 unit. Right? Standard price remains the same, 0.01 and 0.02. Right? So this is 0.7 and 0.2. Now what I say, now this has two elements now. The first element is that this quantity should not have been used because of my ego. My ego says that you should be using 100 grams, whereas the worker says, no, I have made it in 80 grams. So it was hard to accept because I am the boss, I am the owner. How can I expect that my standards are wrong? Right? It is hard to accept that my standards are wrong. My standards say that 100 grams is required for 1 unit of snack, whereas the worker has made it in 80 grams. But slowly and steadily, I accepted it. My mind accepted it because there is a saving in cost. Right? But at the same time, it is hard to accept this thing. The proportion. Now I asked him, I'm ordering that worker that this is the wrong proportion. 7:1, whereas I recommended 8:2. Whatever is the quantity, whatever is the total quantity, I have recommended 8:2, wherever that worker has used 7:10, so 7:1. So I told him that this is not the right proportion. Why not right proportion? That you will not get the absolutely good taste of snack, right? The customers might not like it. It will be more of potatoes and not of the flour, so you will not get that snack. So the worker said, okay sir, I accept it. Now what should I do? Right? The worker is saying, okay sir, I am a worker only, you are the boss. If you say 8:2, okay, acceptable, 8:2. Now what should I do? The point here is, what should I do? Right? So he says, you calculate the revised standard quantity. In the revised standard quantity, what you have to do is, you have to divide this 80 grams. I accept that 80 grams are being used, but for that actual quantity, what you have to do is, you have to divide it in the ratio of 8:2. The same concept that we studied in the last lecture also. The same thing, right? That 80 grams should be distributed in the ratio of 8:2. That is 64 and 16. Right? So the table remains the same. whether it is a mix variance or it is a yield variance, only the shift of the focus is there, right? Slightly shift of the focus. In this, we are more focused on this actual proportion. In that, we were more focused on the total quantity of the actuals. According to that, calculate the revised. So we were just focused on what we planned, right? What we planned. There was a difference between what was my original plan and what is my revised plan. The focus was on that according to the output, right? Now, the table remains the same, but the mix variance says, now I have revised my standards, I have revised my mixture, I have revised the mixture standard. So I will calculate now the variance between my new standards and the actuals, right? So now the variance will be, variance will be calculated on the basis of revised standards and actual quantity, right? Revised standards and actual quantity. So my direct material mix variance will be, in this case, direct material mix variance, right? It is revised standard quantity, RSQ, minus actual quantity multiplied by standard price, right? Now this is also known as, this revised standard quantity is also known as standard quantity for actual mix, standard quantity for total actual mix, right? Total actual mix, this 80 grams is the total actual mix. Now this is divided into the standard quantity ratio, so it becomes revised standard quantity, or we can call it as standard quantity for total actual mix, minus the actual quantity minus standard multiplied by standard price. So in this case, we'll calculate it for potatoes and we'll calculate it for flour. For potatoes, what is the revised standard quantity? Revised standard quantity is 64, right? So my revised approach is 64 should have been used. What has been used? 70 multiplied by standard price, that is 0.01, right? So this comes out to 6 multiplied by 0.01, that comes out to 0.06. Now for the flour, 16 minus what has been used, 10. Now this is adverse, right? This is adverse. 16 units of the flour should have been used, whereas used has been 10 only, multiplied by 0.02. So this comes out to, multiplied by 0.02. This comes out to 0.08. Now this is favorable. This is favorable, isn't it? The standards are more than the actuals. So net we will have 0.02 favorable. Clear? This is how the mix variance is calculated. The table remains the same. The only approach is, in the yield variance, we are focused on what was our, on the basis of the output, what was our original approach and what is our revised approach, right? We are not concerned with the actual mix. In this part, we are concerned with the actual mix, that what is my revised approach versus the actual quantity that has been consumed for the raw materials. Right? So this is about the mix variance. Only one formula for the mix variance. Like in the yield variance, I told you the alternative approach also, but in the mix variance, there is no alternative approach, right? Now I tell you that the questions from the yield and mix variance, they have been asked multiple times. Multiple times. The kind of the question that we are going to do. Let's come to question number 3. Now this kind of a question has been asked many times in the examination, not once or twice. Even in the recent examination, same question was there. So that important this question is. Okay. So let's read the question. Z Limited is engaged in producing a standard mix using 60 kgs of chemical X and 40 kgs of chemical Y. Right, so this is the standard that if you want to make a particular product, in that 60 kgs of the chemical X will be required and 40 kgs of the chemical Y will be required. This is about the total quantities. Right, how much units you need to produce, that is not given. The standard loss of production is 30%. So we always consider that whatever is the quantity, there will be a 30% loss out of that. Only after that you will get the actual quantity. The standard price of X is rupees 5 per kg and Y is rupees 10 per kg. The actual mixture and yield were as follows: 80 and 70. Right, and this is the actual price that is given. Now it is given actual yield 115 kgs. Yield means actual output is given to you. Now this is the actual output. Calculate material variances, price, usage, yield, mix, calculate all the variances. Right? Now listen to it very carefully. This question says that whatever is the standard output that you have decided, right? Say X. Out of X, 30% will be lost. 30% will be lost. Whatever is left will be your actual quantity, right? You will get the actual quantity after a loss of 30%. Now 30% is already we know, right? So what is actual quantity? 115. Now this means this 115 actual yield is after a loss of 30%. Obviously, if we say there is a loss of 30% in the process, that means whatever the actual yield you are getting, that is after that loss, right? That means the raw material input or the standard output is more than this. We said 30%, right? 30% loss in the input. Clear? So that means my input will be more than 115 kgs. After that, there will be a 30% loss so that I get an output of 115. Now in this, be very careful, the input output ratio is not given. So we always consider it to be 1:1. That means if we input 1 unit of the raw material, you will get 1 unit of the finished good. Clear? So it is like that. So we say that if you input, say 1 unit, if you input 1 unit of raw material, right, there will be a 30% loss out of this, 0.30. The finished output that you will get is 0.70. Clear? So in these type of questions, the standard quantity is not given. For actual output, whenever we say the standard quantity for actual output is required, right? The standard quantity for, you will say, sir, 115 kgs is required. We can calculate. But how to calculate? Listen to it very carefully now. These kind of questions are very, very important. So in these kind of questions, the first thing that we calculate is standard quantity. Okay, I'll write total standard quantity for actual output. Total standard quantity for actual output. How to calculate it? This is how it should be calculated, sir. If we input X units, now my standard quantity is say X, there will be a 30% loss in that X. From that 30% loss, you will get the actual output, that is 115 kgs, right? Obviously, you will input more than 115 kgs because there is a 30% loss in that. You will input more than that so that you get the actual output, that is 115 kgs. So this comes out to 70%, 115 kgs. So X is 115 divided by 70 multiplied by 100 because it is 70%. So this comes out to 164.2857. You can round it off also, no issues in that. So this is my standard quantity that I will input into the process. From this standard quantity, there will be a 30% loss. After that 30% loss, whatever is the output that I will get, that is 115 kgs. So I am doing the reverse working. The actual output is given. From the actual output, I am going to calculate what is the total standard quantity that being input that we need to input. We need to input 164.2857 kgs. Only then, after 30% loss, we are going to get an output of 115 kgs. Clear? So this is the most important step in this question, right? This is the most important step, that how to calculate the total standard quantity for actual output. Total standard, in case of loss, total standard quantity will be more than the actual output. But how much more, right? Now this 115 is 70% of whatever you input, because 30% is lost. So if we divide it by 70%, we will get the total input, the total standard quantity. Now we are going to prepare the table as we have been doing. Now we are going to prepare the table. Standard quantity for actual output, standard price, standard cost, actual quantity, actual price, actual cost, and here we will have the revised standard quantity also. So chemical X, chemical Y. Now, what is my total standard quantity? My total standard quantity is 164.2857. Now, what is the proportion in which it has been used? The proportion is 60:40. Now, we are not using 100 kgs. Now, this is the standards for the standard quantity, not for the actual quantity. What we have calculated the standard quantity for actual output, right? The 60 kg and 40 kg is not for the actual output. This is for the standard output, right? What we need is for the actual output, but this gives us a proportion that whatever is your total usage, you have to use it in the proportion of 6:4. So that means you will divide this total 164.2857 in the proportion of 6:4, right? So dividing it into the proportion of 6:4, what you get is, you will get 98.5714. You can round it off, no issues. And 65.7143. What is standard price? Standard price is 5 rupees and 10 rupees. So my standard cost comes out to 492.857, and on this it will come to 657.143. What is the actual quantity used? Actual quantity given as 80 kgs and 70 kgs. 80 and 70. What is the actual price that has been used? Actual price is 4.5 and 8. 4.5 and 8 kgs, right? So this comes out to actual cost 360 and 560. This is my actual cost, that is 920. What is the actual quantity that has been used? That is 150. Now, how to calculate the revised standard quantity? For revised standard quantity, I will distribute this 150 in which ratio, right? This is 6:4. So I will divide this 150 in the standard proportion, that is 6:4. This will be divided in the ratio of 6:4. So that comes out to 90 and 60. So this is your revised standard quantity. Here your standard cost, total standard cost is 1150. So now you need to calculate. This is the table. Once the table is formed, say the 90% of the job is done. After that, you just have to apply the formulas. Simple. Once the table is done, this part is important, that for actual output, 115 kg is the actual output. You need to calculate what is the standard quantity that we should be inputting, right? So the standard quantity will be before 30% loss, right? Standard quantity X. Out of X, 30% will be lost. After that, you will get the output of 115 kg. So you get the value of X, that is the standard quantity input should be 164 kgs, right? From that, after 30% loss, you will get 115 kgs. This is my standard quantity for actual output, that how much of input is required for, as per the standards. How much of input is required to get the actual output of 115 kgs. Now, let's calculate the variances quickly. So first we have direct material cost variance. Direct material cost variance is standard cost minus actual cost. What is my standard cost in this case? 1150. What is my actual cost? That is 920. So this comes out to 230 favorable, right? This comes out to 230 favorable. After that, the next one is direct material price variance. Direct material price variance is standard price minus actual price multiplied by actual quantity, right? So you will take it for chemical X. Chemical X, what is the standard price? That is 5. What is the actual price? That is 4.5 multiplied by actual quantity, that is 80, right? So this comes out to 40 favorable. And for Y, the standard is 10, actual is 8, multiplied by actual quantity, that is 70. So 140 favorable. Obviously, standard cost is more, actual cost is less. So it is a favorable combination, 180 favorable. Clear? This is the price variance you will calculate for the individual chemicals, individual raw materials. After that, we have direct material quantity variance or the usage variance, that is standard quantity minus actual quantity multiplied by standard price, not the actual price. Again, for X and for Y, you will calculate what is the standard quantity. Standard quantity is 98.5714 minus actual quantity 80 multiplied by standard price, that is 5. So this comes out to 92.857 favorable, right? Because the standard quantity is more, actual quantity has been used less. In case of Y, this is 65.7143. Actual quantity is 70 multiplied by 10. Now the actual quantity is more than the standard quantity. So it has an adverse scenario. How much? 42.857. Adverse. So the net effect will be 50 favorable. So 180 plus 50, that comes out to 230. 230 favorable. So direct material cost variance is equal to direct material price variance and direct material quantity variance, right? 230 favorable is equal to 180 favorable plus 50 favorable. Clear? After that, we need to calculate the direct material yield variance, right? So it says standard quantity for actual output minus revised standard quantity multiplied by standard price. Now I will calculate it for X and Y. For X, what is the standard quantity? It is 98.5714. What is the revised standard quantity? It is 90 multiplied by 5. So this comes out to 42.857. It is favorable. In case of Y, this is 65.7143 minus the revised is 60. Again favorable scenario, right? So this comes out to 57.143. Again favorable. Total is 100 favorable. Now coming to the next one. Next one is direct material mix variance. Mix variance is what is my revised standard quantity minus what is my actual mix multiplied by standard price. As already discussed, X and Y. What is my revised standard quantity? That is 90. What is the actual quantity that I have used? 80 multiplied by 5, right? So my revised standards, that 90 should be used is 80. So it is a favorable scenario again. So 50 favorable, right? So in case of Y, it is 60 minus 70. This is an adverse scenario, right? 100 adverse, right? So this comes out to 50 adverse. Now what was your quantity variance? 50 favorable. Quantity variance is equal to yield variance plus mix variance. So we can say direct material quantity variance is equal to direct material yield variance plus direct material mix variance. Now my quantity variance is 50 favorable, right? Then direct material yield variance, it is 100 favorable plus mix variance is 50 adverse. So the net effect here is 50 favorable, which is equal to 50 favorable of quantity variance, right? So this holds true. Clear? So this is the whole question on material variances, and these kind of questions are asked in the examination. Now in this case you can round it off the things. You can take 164 kgs and solve accordingly, right? So there might be some approximation errors only, nothing to worry about it. If you round it off, there might be some approximation errors in this total. Otherwise, absolutely going to be smooth. Clear? So this is how the material variances are to be done. So with this, we are done with the material variances. Rest you have to practice it from the ICAI study mat now, right? The ICAI complete study mat series is available on our mobile app. You can get it from there. Okay. So we are done with the material variances with this. Nothing else to be done in the material variances. We have discussed all the variances related to the raw material. Now the road ahead is quite simple now. The next lecture will discuss about the labor variances. We'll discuss about labor variances. Very simple variance, nothing to worry about it. Right? So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, keep studying, keep sharing. Thank you so much.